Does it sound alright? It's perfect. Yes. Hi. Alright, let's get started, guys. Whew. Darn. Alright. So glad that that is working. So, Temmie, um, we're getting started with you. This, I really like these kind of volumetric cloud things. I remember that we saw. Um, this one definitely does that justice. Just gonna turn that size here. Let's see. That's a good size. Um, the biggest thing. Okay, I'm gonna break down the cloud, like volumetric part, and then we'll do the lightning part. All right. So, one small step for Lincoln, one big step for the server. Thanks, Austin. So, um, for the clouds, I think you need to sharpen it up some. Like you could use a color ramp with the just the volume texture. Also, I feel like in the render settings, you have too high of a like volume, like I don't know. There's a setting that kind of controls the like resolution almost for the volume rendering. I forgot what it's called at the moment, but if you want me to after the stream, I can. And yep, Boston. All right. So yeah, make sure you kind of tighten up the volumetrics and really, I think this is pretty cool, but yeah, more samples. Also, the fireflies. That's not a huge issue though. And we've also got so the lightning. I think that really, I think you maybe used like a Voronoi with cells or something. I'm not actually totally sure how you got that effect. It's really cool. Um, but I think you could really actually scale it up so that they kind of like branch more and there's just more of these kind of shapes um in there to really just like I don't know, just make them more dense almost. Also, you could use a to get the lightning only on the bottom, you could have like the cloud on the top, lightning on the bottom. That would be super cool. And I don't know, that's like the way you do that is you take, a generated texture coordinate, separate out the Z value, use a color ramp, and then just use that color ramp as a mask to mask out the top and then do the same thing for the bottom so you only have lightning in the bottom and then clouds on the top, which would be a really cool effect. Um, yeah, so I think you did a good job on this, and I love that the server is participating a little bit in November. So keep up the awesome work, Temmie. I almost said Techie, Temmie. And we are going to move on to the next entry, which I believe is, I don't have them on order on this application, so we're going to check out OP Stoiner's render. Here we are. This is very nice. I love the Halloween vibe. You got like this spider down here with this lighting. This really cool how the spiders are lit up with a different color. That's incredible. Um, let's see. The cobwebs are looking super nice. You've got a pretty good pumpkin texture on here. Honestly, pumpkins aren't always that bumpy. Maybe this one is. I think you could probably reduce that a tiny bit, but I still appreciate the texturing for sure. Um, as well as that, I think that I can talk about it. Sweet. All right, I will. Is this? This is a little louder, and I'm leaning in now, so be good. The first thing that I think could use a little bit of work, actually quite a bit actually, is the interior of the pumpkin. You know, you've obviously got this light in here and it's orange, which is really good, but especially in here, you can kind of see that like it's just not really convincing. Pumpkins are often a lot thicker and just have a lot more like subsurface scattering on the inside. Yeah, I mean, the outside of the pumpkins is pretty hard, but the inside is really fleshy, and you can try and just work on that, make it thicker probably. That would help totally. Um, the spiders are just a really awesome part of this render. I think they add a lot. I think you could have some cobwebs like hanging down. I mean, these ones are super cool. Kind of emphasizes that the pumpkin's been there for a long time. Um, that looks great. But having some actual like spiders just like chilling in here, I don't know, that would be super cool. There's also, I'm not totally sure what this block is. I think it's cool, but you should try and, you know, make some sense out of it. Like maybe make it bigger or smaller. You could bring it out here and then put an ant on it. Not ant, spider. Um, yeah, but the lighting looks really nice. I love this kind of interesting effect out here. How it comes out of the eyes and mouth. Looks really good. Also that thing right there, that little bump, never really, that's not a thing that happens with pumpkins. So, whole thing in ArtStation. I don't think I have time to go through and check them out on ArtStation, but I probably will after the fact, honest. I might like it too, which is, yeah. I will definitely check it out after this stream. Cobweb on the left is too rigid. Yeah, I think it goes up, which is just not, yeah, that doesn't really happen ever. Unless there's a breeze, but I don't think there is. It seems very still in here. So maybe just push that cobweb down so that it's kind of coming like this. Would really help. And yeah, just texturing on the inside. Definitely, I don't know if these are like from the bevel or the solidify, like modifiers, or if you purposefully made those. It's a bit hard to tell, but I would get rid of them. You could easily just, you know, smooth them out with a sculpt brush, or anything would really work. So, yeah. This is good stuff. Also, it seems like you might have a little bit of that texture in here with that, that little black patch, but I can't really tell. It might be just a cobweb. So kind of adding more clarity to the inside would be a big thing. But I love how you have, so, yeah, I think that's about all my critiques. It's pretty good stuff you've got going on. Love the different colors of lighting. See, a lot of people like don't use color enough in their lights, and you really did a good job with that. So, solid render, and we are going to check out the next one, which we keep getting more submissions. Nice. Yeah, we'll go to YouTube and watch the videos, but for right now, we're gonna try and get through some more of the images. Monkeys, no problem, Stonercrafts. It's a really good render, and hope you put some in again, because these are solid. Monkey. Take a look at that monkey. Okay. Where is it? Darn. Oh, here it is. Monkey's render. Alright, this is kind of it's unusual in a good way. The first thing that catches my eye is definitely like this block here. To me personally, it kind of reminds me of like a block of salmon. Like it just has that like kind of subsurface scatteriness. I mean, I'm sure I don't think that's what you meant. I like it. I like thinking of it as a salmon block. I like how you have this kind of grain, like post-process overlay. I think, I don't know, I just like it. It adds a lot. Um, the main thing is that I don't really know like what's going on at all, um, as like the viewer. So I would maybe like this is okay. So it's like kind of a path. It's got like an asphalt texture, which is sweet. That actually looks really good as an asphalt texture. Um, Metal that is incandescent. Oh yeah, it could be like a heated block of like steel or something. Totally, it totally could. Um, yeah, for sure. Um, but I don't, I can't tell like what's. It feels based on this like perspective, right? It like there should be something like a focal point in here, but then there's like not really. There's just like this thing up here, which I guess maybe could count, but like I don't really think so. Um, you could have like a doorway that's like spilling out light, or just like I don't know, a black doorway would be cool too. Um, yeah, and I mean the field of view, like the depth of fields, is focused right up here, um, which makes it feel like these things are like the subject, but like I can't tell. It feels odd, you know? So I would work on like just making something that's clearly the focus of the scene and gives you like a reason to actually look at it, if that makes any sense. Um, Another thing with these cubes, you've got three of these kind of emissive ones, right? What I would do to help give them like more form is to add loops and then use pointiness within the shader to actually make like the edges kind of stand out, like either be more lit up or less lit up. I don't know, but having the edges colored in some different way could help give them more form. Yeah, the road is good. I like it. You like, dang, that it just looks like a road. I mean, it's good stuff. The puddle's nice too. Ah, and yeah, I guess technically this is a really good piece. It's pretty nice. You have really nice post-processing, really nice colors, but it's just confusing, like to the eye. Uh, so yeah, try and give it something that's just a little more substance, you know? This background is pretty sweet. Yeah, I like that. These shapes. I like how it's not regular. You see a lot of these patterns, like geometric, I don't know, fractal patterns or whatever, like in the background or something, and they're all very repeating and regular, but this one, like, isn't, and I really appreciate that. So, that looks very cool. Um, and so, yeah, thanks. This was Monkey. Monkey. Um, it's good stuff, and there's just a few like things to just take into consideration when you're planning it. Just be like, what is this person actually gonna like get out of looking at it? Because really this is the coolest part. But like, it's just a cube, you know. So that's my opinion, but it looks good, and the road texture is amazing. This texture down here is gorgeous. So keep it up, and we will see you around. next one is a video, but I'm going to skip past it and come back to the videos in a few minutes. Next up, we have, next up in the line, Proyo. So I gotta find Proyo. Pretty sure I have Proyo in here. There we go. It's loading. Crap. I hope this doesn't take too long. Oh, there's parallels. Proyos, where are you? No. There we go. Sweet. Alright. So I think Proyo, thanks for submitting this. I think this is definitely it's clearly space render. But there's definitely a few things it can use a little bit of improving. Also, I think the major thing is, honestly, these comments, it looks like you plugged a normal map into the color output. And, I mean, it just looks a little bit wacky. That's by far the major thing for me. Just, like, make these rocks look like, rocks, not like normal maps. Also, it's very, very sharp lighting, which you do get in space, but I would also add some ambient lighting, just so you can see the forms in here, because I'm sure they're there. We just can't see them. So, yeah. Give the comets, or asteroids, I think that's the right word. Give the asteroids some look, and a look. And, yeah. Because it's weird, because, like, we can't see that normal map color thing. Okay, so I don't know if you actually put a normal map into the color output. That's just what it looks like. But, whatever's going on there, just try and work it out. Like, you can't see that effect up here and down here, right? So that's a little bit confusing. I do like the rim lights. You've got that going on, which is really, really nice. Kind of gives them some, contrast against the background, which is cool. As for the ship, I think you need, I would say, it's very low poly, which is a good look, but I'd say to just bevel some stuff, because beveling really, what it does is it just makes it so much easier for, like, the curves and the light to just be very visible, and it just makes it look a lot cleaner, even though you'd think it'd be less clean because it's round, but like it just helps when that's just a little bit round. You could also use, what would be super, super sweet is if you used like greebles, like Star Wars on the Death Star, where it's like all these little patches of like this sci-fi stuff that just expands through the whole thing, and gives it like a ton of detail. Those are called greebles, and some people call them greeblies, but really you should add some greebles. They're not that hard. There's some free add-ons that can do greebles on any model. You just click a model and be like greeble it, and it just generates them all. There's a paid one too. I haven't tried the paid one. I've only tried the free ones. But that could really help out the look of the ship if there were some little details. Yeah, and the ship just needs more lighting. Like, you just, I feel like it's easy to like feel like you're doing too much lighting, because often they start out like weak and then you have to turn them up a bunch, and you're like, oh no, am I turning it up too much? But no, like, just chances are you won't be turning it up too much. So go a little farther with the lighting than you might feel comfortable with, and just experiment how how you can get it to really actually stand out and be visible without seeming bright, which is actually totally possible. Um, like this down here, I think there's probably exhaust or something, but like I just can't see any of it. So work on that for sure. Um, the earth is probably the best part of this. I really like it. It doesn't have a ton of, a lot of times people do like a little bit of volumetrics around it to give it some kind of atmospheric light scattering, if that makes any sense. And that's not a requirement, so um, it looks pretty good. Maybe use a noise texture and get some clouds in there. That'd be pretty sweet. Hey Mobin, glad to have you here. But about the Earth, I see. Is that Italy? I think that's Italy. That's super cool that they're like real continents. You got like, Northern Africa. That's sweet. So yeah, the Earth looks good. Also try and space these out so that like the ship, which is like obviously the coolest part, isn't getting blocked by, the asteroids like in here. Gotta be able to see the stuff that you are trying to make visible. And I think that's about it. I think it's a really good start, and you've got some good stuff going on, but you gotta work on lighting, especially lighting. Just getting this all really defined, and then the comment materials, lighting materials. It's bread and butter of CG. So yep, take a look at it again, I'd say, but I think you've got some good stuff going on, and thank you for submitting it. Okay, we're moving on to Hyrudo's render. Hyrudo. Alright, this is sweet. Where are you, Hyrudo? There we go. Alright, first off, this is super nice. The texture of the glass really works well. It almost feels kind of like a foggy, like condensation, which is, it's sweet. I feel like these down like this, like the rim, is outstandingly good. You definitely did. I'm guessing you saw the Blender conference talk on like the glass where he like extrudes the bottom a little bit. It looks like you did that there, and it just looks incredible. So, great job on that. And let's see, ooh, Aircraft has been to Italy. That is very cool. Yep, I'm like Austin, only been in the US, but honestly, Italy is high on the bucket list for future travels. Demand wireframe picture. I don't know if we got any of those right now, but it would be helpful to see the topology of Proyo's last one. See what's up. For Hyrudo's, which we are currently on. Thank you, Hyrudo, for submitting this. This is so good. I see you have lens dispersion here. Chromatic aberration. Got a ton of depth of field, which really looks good. This is just gorgeous, really. There's not a whole lot to say. Okay, I would say that glass, because it's clear, often visually has a lot more dust than you'd expect. Like, and especially if it's like outside and light's shining through it. This isn't outside, but you get the idea. I would add more dust for sure, like just, I don't know, particles or texture or whatever, to help that out. Um, and maybe like I mean, I think it's pretty safe to say these, bottles have been sitting out here for a long time. So you should consider adding like discoloration towards the bottom, like having kind of darker going up, like darker down here, lighter up here. Just kind of I don't know, I think that'd be cool. Like if they've somehow been discolored over time from the bottom. I don't know if that actually happens. It would just look sweet. Um, yeah, Haruto did an amazing job with this one. Um, it's honestly really impressive the way that he has like glass inside of glass and still looking clean. That's hard to pull off. Um, so great job. Uh, you know, be would be cool is if the bottles were like different colors for like different like types of beer or whatever. Like I think Heineken is like green, and then like um got like Corona that's different colors. Different types of beer have different colored bottles. So having kind of slightly different colored glass on those would really add some interest. And I feel like kind of um so these three bottles are, obviously the main focus. But because these bright spots are so close to these bottles, it's like just kind of distracts the eye from really looking at these three and like, ooh, these are close. Background too. I would move um these bottles that way, to the left, to the left, to the left. So that we can really focus on these bottles over here. But that's honestly about all I got. It looks amazing. You did a great job, Haruto. Ooh, lag, oh no. Hope it's not too bad. Um, okay. So, that is all for you, Haruto. You did, I mean, it's just stunningly good, really. But just a few little things that could take it to the next level, in my opinion. Um, alright. To keep this rolling, we've got Yeats. Here we go. Yes. Love these Ducky 3D. This is from Ducky 3D, I think you said, which is, awesome. I love Ducky 3D. Uh, just such good, like, introduction tutorials for, like, motion graphic stuff. Really good. I would say that on, like, I actually did a few, back in, yield days, I mean, not that long ago, I did a, render with these kind of, like, twirly, tinsely wire things, and so I definitely kind of know the like issues you get with like trying to like actually um like make it look not really weird and random. Um the biggest thing for this thing is I would say like just um use a lot more color in your lights. Like I mean I noticed what was the first or second one we did with the pumpkin had such great color in the lights. And if you try to recreate that here, that could just just add so much interest. Um, and it feels, based on the background color, that this is taking place outside, maybe in like the winter, and these are branches. But I don't think that really makes any sense. Like, if you're gonna go as abstract as this, you might as well just like go totally abstract and like have it like black or like green or something. That would be like pretty sweet. So yeah, I think that's a major thing for me personally. Um, Another thing is that these are kind of sparsely spaced, like when you have all these I don't know, wire things, if you have them like all concentrated and like going in the same direction, not like really concentrated, but like definitely in the same, they're all kind of thinking the same thing, if that makes any sense. They're just doing it slightly in different places. Um, but kind of like a hive mind of the wires, if that makes any sense. That can look really cool. But right now, it's just throughout the whole camera view, you know, they're just all coming this way, which just doesn't um I don't know what he's saying or anything. Sounds Japanese. Wait, what? Um oh. Oh, it's not about my speaking. It's yes. Um welcome Andrew. This is render. So this we're a computer graphics Discord server, and I'm on this week for critiquing some of our artists' work, and this is a render by I don't even know what uh by someone in here. I forgot the name all actually, which is bad, but yeah, that's what we're doing. So definitely try to kind of give a more um like cohesive, put together feel. Um like I'll just no, I was gonna show you the one I did a little while back to give you an idea, but I'll just stay on here. Um but yeah, keep them a little more dense. See, if even if you just packed these ones and these ones together more and just had like um just these great thick strands coming up and brought all these extra ones in um to pack them together, that could just make more sense. Um Also, you should maybe focus on the material a bit more. Could give it some randomization to give these each a different color, like in a color scheme, which would look awesome. So definitely some things to focus on there. And yeah, I think that's the main thing. Just try and group them in ways that are visually interesting, because this just seems really like noisy. I mean, not like technically noisy, like with like dots and stuff, you know, but like visually noisy. It doesn't make any sense. Oh, it's made by Yeats. Yep, thank you, Yeats. Sorry about that, dude. Um, we are going to see what else there is in here that looks a little bit funky. I like how you have, I can't tell if it's like, I mean, okay, you definitely got some volumetrics in the background, which is sweet. And I really like how it's occluding these ones in the back. That is very cool. So maybe push that further almost, have it be more foggy. Give color to your lights, work on materials, and group them together in ways that seem interesting. That's my take on this piece. Thank you, Yeats, for this awesome entry, and I hope we will see you again. Alright. Mierda is up next. We're going to start with his first entry, Cyber Shock. I kind of, the school, it creeps me out, not gonna lie. I think that might be the point, which, if that's the point, you did a very, very, it was effective, for sure. But So this is like the headshot of this character that you made in, dang, I like totally lost. So anyway, it's like the headshot of this character that you made, where the other one has a full body shot. It looks pretty awesome. You've got two lights on each side. Really, there's not really anything going on with the materials. Like, it feels like it should be metal, but it ain't. It ain't looking like that. So, you know, I don't know if you have Substance Painter, which you could go in and work on textures a lot, or even in Blender, you can just, you know, paint a texture onto the roughness channel on different spots and really help it feel grounded. Yeah, the cylinders, I'm guessing you did them with a Boolean, right? But you should, I don't know, Booleans are kind of problematic. Actually, they're really problematic. You probably didn't want to use too many Boolean cuts, like subdivisions in the Boolean object, so that it wouldn't create too much geometry in here. But I mean, I don't know, you used Booleans, but it seems pretty likely, so I would say don't use Booleans for something that's that up close and needs to be that clean. Use like the edge loops, what is it, like loop tools, and create the circles and extrude them in. So yeah, that definitely could improve that. Also, I mean, this isn't subdivided either. Maybe just adding a subdivision surface modifier would like fix that whole thing. Which would be, you know, a really easy fix. So like, give that a try for sure. Topology could indeed use some work, especially around these areas, like we mentioned. And where these connects, they're just, you know, kind of just intersecting, right? Give it some, like, there's actually like a really cool add-on for like creating metal weld geometry around like intersections. That could be super cool if you like had it welded. That would work better. Because right now it's just the two objects are intersecting. And I can't tell like how it's supposed to work. Also, for the skull, I mean, clearly a jaw, you know, would help. Jaws are always good. But there doesn't really seem to be any, like, they're kind of concave here, and that's just weird. Like, I'd say check out a lot more skull reference stuff before you know, get to work sculpting a skull. That's a big thing, always. You know, reference is everything. So, I'd say, also, yeah, down here, like, you just, you know, use subdivision surface. There's really no reason not to. It's like a free way to improve the quality. So, yeah, I think there's some good stuff going on this one, but I think the other one is actually a lot cooler. So I want to focus on that. Just make sure you subdivide. And the lighting is actually pretty okay, but you could do a few things to make it more interesting. Alright, we're going to go to his second entry, which is this, excuse me, gotta take a drink of water real quick. Okay, this one is a lot cooler for sure. You can see the full body. I mean, it just looks great. Something I just noticed is how it's all black and white except for the red eyes. Now that is cool. Um, Definitely just keep that up, you know? It looks sweet. You almost might be able to do some blue to just contrast it even more. Uh, like if this was all blue, that would be pretty sweet too. Like a light blue, or like a slight blue, you know what I mean? Not like straight total blue, but obviously. Um, Darn, up in here, these artifacts are not feeling it, you know? I feel like you got like Z fighting, like if you use like a subdivision, like not a subdivision, solidify, but you like didn't give it any thickness, and so they're just like the faces just sitting right on top of each other. That could be the issue. So just like fix these topology things, because that's mostly what's holding this back. Like dang, these joints are impressive. You spent a lot of time on those, and like it looks super good. Like that joint is just crisp, but like it's not crisp up here, and that should be way easier, if that makes any sense. So like you definitely can. It's just might be just a matter of like details. I think overall this layout, this composition is a lot, um, more interesting than your last entry. The headshot, like the verticalness, and it just looks really good. So um, keep it up. And I guess in here, like also, the skull just seems better than it did in the last one. I think it's the lighting really, because it doesn't seem like this is way concave. It feels just more natural. So maybe use some of these good things from this one to kind of apply to the headshot and make it seem a little just a little more complete. But yeah, I think another really cool thing, I mean, obviously this is like optional, it's kind of random, but if you had like some like you have like a smoky background, right? If you had like some red smoke coming up here, kind of light that he's like walking through. Okay, that looks like water, but that's not the point. If you had some like smoke in here that he's like stepping through, that would be sweet. Move Cyber Shock up, like dang, that would be cool. But that's just an idea. It looks really good, so keep up the awesome work. Yeah, keep it up. The next thing we have, Blender 2.81 says they fixed the shading bug. I think you might be referring to like Terminator artifacts. Yeah, okay. That's funny because it looks like Terminator sort of thing. Terminator artifacts are when you get on low poly with it smooth shaded, you get it looking really weird. I think that, yeah, that might what it be for sure. And they did fix that in 2.81, but really, like, you don't need to go to 2.81 to fix those. You just got to add more geometry and rely less on the smooth shading and more on just clean topology. That's the big issue. So, thank you a ton, Mierda. And Dunk is our next victim. um, let's see. Where's Dunk? It's a slam dunk, a render, I gotta say. It looks pretty cool. Here we go. It's massive too. Alright. So, it's kind of I mean, clearly a low poly flat shaded thing. Really looks good. I think you could brighten up the background and make these just like pop more. They gotta pop. And don't, in my opinion, this stuff in the background, like the smoke, like it's not as flat as, the trees, which are just like, you want if you're gonna have like something flat, then it would be really good to have it like all flat. So if you just flat shaded that, like put like an emission shade on it or something that's like dark, or whatever color you want it to actually show up as in the render, then that would just create more consistency throughout it, which I think it needs. Same here, you've got this like highlight, which doesn't go with the flat look. So yeah. Oh, we can actually bump up the um. Oh, that last one was an Eevee. Yeah, I think that might. I didn't realize that was an Eevee. Sorry, dude. Yes. What I was thinking of, the bug was in cycles near the shadow resolution, and Eevee, like they're saying, help out that a ton. I mean, it'll just fix the issue, and more geometry. That'll make it peachy clean. But yeah, I mean, Dunk, it's good. It's simple, and it's just don't let any non-flat shaded stuff get into a clearly flat shaded render. And try to more contrast. I mean, it's at night, but like, just because it's night doesn't mean it needs to be so dark all the time. You could have like moonlight coming in. I don't know, but there's a lot of things you could do to really make the trees pop. And make this, whatever this thing in the foreground is, like, make sense, because I don't know what's going on there. So yeah, I mean, it's good. That's really all. So thank you so much, Dunk, and it's a really pretty render. So keep it up, and we will see you around in chat sometime, hopefully. Next is another video, but okay, I'll just go ahead and do the 2 videos right now. Let me just Discord. Gotta make sure I'm on the right account. Wait, guild discovery. Stream announcements. Render row submissions. Okay, I think there's 3 videos because one of them was submitted right there. So we're gonna take a look at all 3 of those right now. I don't know if sound is gonna be working, so I hope it is, but I'm not totally sure. I hope it's working, because just tell me if it's not, the sound is not working, because if it isn't, that will be an issue with these videos. I mean, maybe, I don't know, let's just see. Okay, can make it full screen. That looks sweet. Okay, no. So it comes in. Hold up, pause. We've got a lot of different elements. Okay, let's just break it down. There's metal. There's the emission right on the border. Then underneath this glossy metal, there's like this Iron Man-y metal that's like sweet. And underneath that is like the sandy, stony skin thing. Just gonna flip this in like 0.25 speed. Ooh. That is really nice. It's so satisfying. I mean, it's really actually could work totally well in like the VFX of an Iron Man shot. I mean, I think you nailed it, really. One thing I'd say is I've seen kind of a cool effect where they have like like hexagons that kind of like flip over in the metal as it's coming along, and that's a pretty hard effect to pull off. And obviously this doesn't need it, but really it could kind of add another level of detail if that's something you were interested in like trying to do. And as well, it would be cool to like use, I mean, obviously the subject is this material, but the underlying material doesn't, it just feels a little bit off, but that it doesn't really matter. So yeah, I think that is it's really cool, honestly. There is a little bit of a like blockiness, which I'm guessing is intentional. If it's not, then I mean, yeah, you should fix it, but I feel like it's an intentional one because it looks super cool. Yeah, you might, this might have, see, I don't know if you did this through the shader or through modifiers. I mean, either way, it's sweet, but yeah, I really like it. So, I don't have a ton else to say, but it's a very cool treat for this little uh, roast session. The next one we have is it's up. Mechs, yes, mechs. We love mechs. All right, I haven't actually watched this yet, so we're just seeing how it goes. Right. Hold up. Wait. Are these from? I think these guys are from TF2. Nice. All right. So if they are from TF2, then I mean that's like awesome. I love this background too. Like while we're on the topic, you might be able to apply like an image filter to it to kind of stylize it more, make it fit in more with the actual scene. But I mean, it looks good, so I'm not complaining. You're walking. Also, I just want to take a moment to appreciate like this music. Like that's so good. I don't know. I just love the music in this. You did a good choice. Let's keep watching. Ah, oh, that's cool. Dang, that was nice. Okay, like the way you framed all this stuff, like the videography. I mean, that's gorgeous, really. Like that's sweet, dude. From a technical standpoint, I'd say, these guys might need more polygons or like the hat is just like maybe give it some surf. I mean, it's clearly low poly, but I think it could honestly be slightly improved if some of those softer cloth things were actually a little bit more rounded. Um, but I feel like, the technical aspect of this isn't really what makes it shine. So like just the animation and stuff is really, really nice. Um, just like also like why aren't there guns? Like I see a gun in here, but I think it would guns, like more guns. So Uh, I mean, it could, like, maybe there's a reason there's not guns. Like, in the game, they don't have guns or something. I don't really know. I honestly have only played TF2 like twice. But, um, like, he just lifts it up and then, like, let's see what happens here. Okay, so they both don't have guns in their hands. So, I mean, that's, yeah, purposeful. Pow! I mean, I don't really. It's just, it's pleasing. I don't really know how to critique it though. The way you use the colors, I'll just say, is really good. Like the color scheme of the dirt, and it kind of continues on into the silhouette section, which is just super tasteful. So keep that up, man. That's all I gotta say. It's pretty sweet. So it's pretty rare to see like actual like lengthy animations in here. So you did us a solid with that, and thank you for submitting. Next up on the videos, which only have one more, is another by OP Stoiner. OP Stoiner is like pretty active in chat too, I think. Um, oh, there's one character in TF2 that has a kill emote where he does the finger pointing. Sweet. That is so good to know. Context helps a lot. Um, Thank you, Mierda, for that in the chat. TV room. Ooh. Wow. Let's just watch that again. Kind of the different elements that, the sound, the